So, an unfortunate update in the James Charles sphere. Another young man has come forward stating that James actually made advances on him when he was only 14 years old. So, we're going to watch this together to spread the message and get more attention on this. As you can see, the username is Rhett Ethan. So, let's listen to Ethan tell his story.
Hey guys, my name is Ethan Rett, and if you don't know me, maybe this will help you out once again. So when I was 14 years old, TikTok kind of became like my escape. And then suddenly, I kind of blew up on TikTok. It was uh, it was kind of like a kid's dream. People started paying attention to me. People were supporting me. It was everything I could ask for. I felt happy again after leaning towards that for my happiness, which doesn't sound good, but if you get what I mean, you get what I mean.
So, I'm just going to pause really quick to say I hope anyone who sees this goes to support Ethan because you can tell that he's really nervous, even just talking about this. He, the way he's speaking seems a little bit shaky and a little bit nervous. So this is a very courageous move from him. So if anyone could please go show love and support to Ethan, that would be my request if possible.
So, anyways, and then something crazy happened. James Charles commented and liked one of my videos. At that age and at that moment, it was crazy. It was pretty freaking cool. It's like I accomplished something. Like, oh wow, a big creator is seeing me. Like I'm being put out to this person's page. I was not a fan of James Charles, but I
This is actually really disheartening too because a lot of people, because a lot of the teenagers that James did this to had the same mentality where they were just trying to pop off on TikTok and then this creator came to them. Came to them and they were like, oh my god, it's James Charles, such a big name. And I feel like the power dynamic and the influence there is why they became such easy targets for James to prey on. Because it was just a bunch of kids making videos, or it was just a bunch of kids trying to, you know, pop off on the internet. And for him to see them and then just like knowing that what his knowing that his name comes with power and knowing that these kids would like be in awe of him, and even the ones who weren't kids, even them too, knowing that these people would be in awe of him is so gross that he would just come in and especially since Ethan was only 14, this guy was only 14. James had the responsibility and obligation to look to see how old he was before making comments or trying to slide into his DMs. And I'm sorry, but 14-year-olds don't look like they're 20, 30. They just don't. I would find it hard to believe if we see a picture of Ethan at 14. I find it hard to believe James would have been like, oh my god, it was confusing. He looked older because all of the guys that we've seen James go for have all looked like teenagers.
I knew who he was. I didn't really watch his videos or anything like that, but yeah, you're gonna know who that is. It's one of the biggest creators at the time. I was super shocked. I was super happy, and honestly, I could probably say I was proud. Not long after he messaged me, hey, I responded almost immediately. Who wouldn't respond? It was exciting, but that excitement did not last long at all.
And there's no shame. Ethan should feel no shame for responding to James. I feel like anyone who, especially a teenager, if you're trying to pop off on some kind of social media platform and a huge influencer messages you, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I kind of hit it big. Like this big influencer has taken note of me. So there's nothing wrong with Ethan responding and being like, oh my god, like hi, like being enamored that a big creator would be messaging him. Like that's kind of that would be the dream, right? You're trying to make it on a platform, and then someone way bigger than you with millions of followers comments, and it's like, oh shoot, I made it. Like, now this person knows I exist, so everyone else is gonna know I exist.
The fun didn't last long at all. Um, it honestly came crashing down just as quick as it all happened. And I've already talked about this before. Hold on, I'm sorry. Anyways, months ago, I tried to talk about the situation once again, but it all came crashing down. I was getting threats, not just towards me, but to my family as well. People were messaging my family. People were calling me closeted. People were just doing some pretty mean things.
The fact that people would do that to him is honestly disgusting. And I feel like this is a reason why people are always like, oh, people are just calling James out for clout. They're just doing it for clout. What clout? This is the kind of this is the kind of response that they get. They get harassed, their family gets harassed, they get practically bullied off the internet. Like, I don't understand what the appeal would be for people to be like, oh, they're just making it up to come out and say it. Why? So that they could just be mistreated like everyone else who comes forward? I think it's disgusting too. If a victim comes forward and says that this happened to them, don't go to them and say you're a liar. Don't go to them and harass them or their family or try to make fun of them or try to make accusations. Don't do that. It's already hard enough that they came out and they're brave enough to come out. Don't come at them. You would tell even now that Ethan seems to be very afraid of even saying this now and very triggered by what previously happened to him. So the fact that he is triggered and is still going forward shows how important it is for him to come out and say this. And we all need to listen.
And on top of that, my videos got taken down once again. So I said, you know what? I'm done and I'm over it. No one believed me and everyone thought I was just making something up, which is my fault because I never showed as much proof as I do have, and that's what I'm going to do now. Conversations that I've had with my lawyers via email and conversations I've had with, the detective in that state at the time, I kept to myself because, that's not just my privacy. Those people have families as well, and I didn't want to get them involved. But why should I protect people who never protected me?
Honestly, that is such a powerful statement that Ethan just made. That is so powerful. Why protect people that didn't protect him? And the fact that he even thought to protect them when they didn't even go out of their way to protect him just goes to show you what kind of character this guy has. What this kid has. It's it's so disgusting to me that James Charles has been able to get away with this for so long, and to hear another victim come forward and hear them speak and hear the emotion in their voice is just so powerful and disheartening. And I really hope that he gets justice. And I really hope that James Charles, in some capacity, is just taken off the internet, taken away from the power to do this. Because, come on, we all know he's still doing it. He didn't just stop. He didn't stop after the first one, after the second one, after the third one. Why would he stop? There's about like 10 accusations out there already. And you know there will be more.
So I'm going to be speaking about it and I'm going to be going deeper into it, deeper than I've ever been, with proof of me having conversations with my lawyers and emails and just everything else. I'm not doing this for the drama, I'm not doing this for the attention, but I'm doing this because the threats and the silence have gone on way too far, and my story deserves to be told in the full truth without hiding anything or backing down from anything anymore. So what I'm going to do now is pull up the clip of me kind of first talking about it and getting y'all to understand the full story, and then after that clip is over, I'm going to be coming back and showing y'all the receipts of the lawyers I have and the proof of me being in contact with the Frisco Police Department. And
Anyone who would ever call this guy a liar, by the way, has to be unhinged. I've never heard so much emotion in someone and so much authentic fear. Like he sounds like he's scared, like he's nervous, like he's trying to be brave and come out with something that he knows could potentially hurt him to just to save others. This is reminding me of just what he said before when he said, I wanted to protect the adults that didn't even protect me. It sounds like he is trying to not even just protect himself at this point, but protect anyone that this could potentially happen to in the future. And I think that's brave and commendable. And I hope that this guy gets all the support that he can. Please support him. Please do not say anything mean to him. And if you see anyone saying anything bad to him, say something to them to get them to stop.
just everything else. So please just take time out of your day to watch this video. Even if you hate me and you don't believe me, please just try to understand where I'm coming from, and please let me show you the proof that I have. Hello everyone, my name is Ethan Rhett, and if you don't know me, maybe this will help you. Before I get into the story, I want to say I am not meaning to hurt anyone's career or damage anyone's reputation. I just keep seeing things pop up on my page, and it's sickening, and it triggers me in a way. But back when I was 14, I wanted to do social media my whole life. It's something I really loved and enjoyed doing. I started blowing up. I maybe created my account 7 months prior before I turned 14 years old. I ended up blowing up, maybe around 600, 700,000 followers on TikTok. Everything was doing good. I loved it. It was just amazing. James Charles commented under my post and liked the video, and it was exciting. It was that's the biggest creator I've ever been in contact with or ever commented or liked my post. Anyways, he ends up following me and he messages me, hey. I obviously respond. I'm excited, but that's where everything went downhill.
Again, too, there's nothing wrong with Ethan responding to a message from a huge famous creator who wants to comment and, quote unquote support, even though we all know what James really was trying to do. But a 14-year-old's not going to know what James is trying to do. So if he's popping off and this big influencer comes and comments on his account, he's going to just think like, oh my God, this big creator supporting me. This big creator, like, and now maybe I can get bigger. Maybe I can get huger. Look at who noticed me. There's nothing wrong with him responding to James at all. So I don't even want the haters coming at him.
Got really, really weird. Anyways, when we start going back and forth on TikTok, he initiates after a few days, hey, add me on Snap. I'm like, okay, I was trying to hide the fact that I was excited. It was really cool. I was hoping that this was going to jumpstart my career even more into being an influencer, being
Exactly. Exactly. This is perfectly reasonable for Ethan to assume that he could jumpstart his career through James, not in a clout chasing way, but in a, oh my God, this is a new connection type of way. And I don't think the alarm bells were ringing for him because remember, he's 14 years old. If James is telling him to add him on Snap, he's not thinking what we all adults know. He's not thinking like, oh my God, this guy is out to prey on me or this guy wants something more than what he's acting like. He's not thinking that. He's only 14 years old. He's not thinking that. That's why James goes after these younger people. That's why these type of people go after. That's why these type of predators go after young people. Why these type of predators go after kids? Because they don't know any better. They don't know what's going on. They're not gonna they're not gonna see the red flags as easily as adults would.
being someone, making others happy, and just that was my intentions the whole entire time. Anyways, me and James start going back and forth on Snap, and he eventually asked me, what do I plan on doing long term? So obviously my social media was picking up and et cetera, et cetera. But at the time, I really didn't know. I knew I wanted to be something and be someone and help others and just being an amazing person and spread awareness on social media, all that stuff. And I couldn't really give him an answer because I didn't I didn't know. It was, yeah, I wanted to, but is it something I really could do?
Well, yeah, he didn't know because he was 14. Nobody has their life figured out at 14. Nobody knows what they want to do at 14. Maybe like a few rare exceptions. But yeah, it makes perfect sense that at 14, Ethan wasn't quite sure which trajectory he wanted to go on, which path he wanted to go on, where he was headed, what his ultimate goal was. He was too young. And that should have been James' first indication, other than the fact that he probably looked like a 14-year-old. Should have been his first indication, like, he seems unsure. Let me not influence this actual child.
Eventually ended up telling him I wanted to get into modeling or acting or maybe even both. And he was very supportive about that. He said, "Oh my God, you'd be such a good model. You would do so well modeling and just stuff like that." And obviously, I didn't see anything of it. I was young. I was happy he was saying I could do that, especially coming from a really big and noticeable influencer. I thought it was great. Brother kind of didn't.
Another thing too that we need to remember is that when James is approaching these young teens, like these young kids, we need to remember that another reason that they don't see red flags is because it's literally James Charles and it's literally a celebrity influencer. So it probably feels safer that a celebrity is coming at them, like a suite of celebrity is coming at them. It probably feels safer because it's like, well, why would this celebrity hurt me? What bad intentions could this celebrity have? That's why I think it was so important when the first boy outed James because it let a series of boys come out and be like, "Hey, wait, that happened to me too. That was wrong," and then come out and like realize that it was wrong. That's why it's good that Ethan's doing this because now if James slides into other young teenagers' DMs, like kids' DMs, they'll be like, "Oh, this is bad. Like this is not good. This is bad," and it'll raise red alarms for them, and they'll know not to respond, not to because this is why James got away with it. He was in unsuspecting victims' DMs. That's what they were. unsuspecting victims. They just they were happy that this big influencer was talking to them. They were happy that they got attention because they were just getting attention off of the platforms that they were already on. Imagine how special you would feel if some celebrity just randomly messaged you. You would respond too. You wouldn't be like, oh my god, this person's preying on me. No, you'd be like, oh my god, it's so and so. They've noticed me. I've been noticed. I could possibly potentially get even bigger. I could have this new celebrity connection as a friend. They're not thinking the worst of the worst.
Tell me in a way, but my brother just he kind of let me do my own thing, but he kind of noticed. He didn't. How do I word this? My brother didn't think about it as the way I thought about it. My brother kind of noticed something and I could tell, but it's just he was kind of just letting me do my own thing. Now that we got that out of the way, I'm just gonna jump into a more detailed version of it. I know y'all been waiting. I'm sorry. So James started getting extremely comfortable with me. And I just, I was so excited. I didn't really realize it at the time. We were FaceTiming, which I will pull it up right here in this clip, this next clip.
Wow. I can't even believe that. The fact that James like comes into these children's DMs and just starts FaceTiming them, he's so comfortable just like plastering his big old face everywhere. Like also you guys, if the volume's low on Ethan's end, it's literally just the TikTok video. I can't raise it. It's not on my end. But I hope you guys can hear what he's saying. But he's saying right now that James started FaceTiming him. And again, Ethan did nothing wrong. A celebrity is contacting him, someone who he thinks is kind of like a potential connection, a potential friend, and FaceTiming him. There's nothing wrong with what Ethan's doing here. He's not clout chasing. He's just embracing a connection that he's getting. He doesn't know the sinister ulterior motives. He doesn't know that. He's only 14 at this time.
I don't think so. At least. Anyway, so that part was me on the phone with James that a friend of mine recorded just because he thought it was pretty cool as well. And I thought it was something cool to have. And I didn't think about it as any way to hurt him. And it stresses me out that my life was ruined because everyone thought that. It did like.
I can't believe that this kid's life was ruined and James wasn't when James was the perpetrator. So this kid gets in trouble for filming the interaction, but James doesn't get in trouble for committing the action. Who cares if this kid filmed it? It doesn't matter. James shouldn't even be in those scenarios. James shouldn't even be reaching out to these kids and having them having FaceTimes with them. Ethan did nothing wrong. We all know that.
It's irritating talking about. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyways, James started becoming super aggressive with me. He would ask me to send him photos of my happy trail, which I didn't even have at the time, and because I was 14, I didn't have a happy trail, and I had armpit hair, but you didn't ask for that. And
You guys, I'm so disgusted. The fact that Ethan's saying I was so young, I didn't even have what he wanted me to send him, and he was so aggressive and kept asking me to send it to him. Not even asking, because it sounds like he's kind of demanding, because Ethan's saying that he was really aggressive about it. It's so sick. It's so sick. And I'm sorry, but if Ethan didn't even have that at the time, then that means he definitely looked young. And even in that like 2 second clip we saw of the FaceTime, he looked much younger than he does here. I don't buy that James is acting like I didn't know their ages. Well, why didn't you ask them? Why didn't you confirm and get their ages and make them show you that they were actually 18? It doesn't even sound like Ethan ever told him he was 18. Which, again, another red flag from James to not even be asking.
I kind of avoided the question because it made me super, super uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I lied actually. I told him I shaved my happy trail because I was afraid to tell him that I didn't have a happy trail or have any hair on my body other than my armpit hair. So I'm sorry, I lied about that.
Okay, I want to correct Ethan here. Ethan, you didn't lie. I know sometimes people say, "Oh, I lied." What they really mean is like they misremembered and forgot something. That's not an outright. That's not a lie. For Ethan saying, "Oh, I lied. I actually told him this." He's not lying to us. He's just remembering what he said. Yes, he lied to James, but he did it because James was asking for something that Ethan didn't have, and Ethan was just a kid. He didn't want to lose this connection with this big, powerful influencer. So of course he's gonna be like, "Oh, I just don't have that." Like instead of being forced to give something he doesn't even have, or have to say, "Oh, I don't have that," which might embarrass him because he's a child.
Anyways, he kind of started being aggressive extremely after that. He told me, well, don't shave your happy trail grin again because I like that. And he was very intense about how he said it. I know it doesn't sound bad, but it was only if you could be in my shoes when that.
No, it does sound bad. It sounds very bad. It sounds very bad for James to say, for James to try to dictate what this child's body looks like. Because James likes it and James wants to look at it. And James, the fact that James didn't even question, like, wait, this might sound kind of sus that this guy is shaving that. Could it just be that he doesn't have one? Could it just be that he's not 18? Could it just be that he's like a child? James doesn't even consider these things. It's just so gross. It's so gross that James preys on these young boys. And they all look young. They all look young.
That happened. It made me super, super uncomfortable. Anyways, I go to bed that night and I wake up to his sent to me, and it made me very, very uncomfortable. He would send me a photo of his behind in the mirror, and he also
Oh my
sent me a
god.
video of him in the shower, which those videos are somewhere on the internet. I'm sure you can find it. If I looked, I could probably find them in a Google Drive that we actually had for my lawyer. Anyways, he started real.
The fact that James was just sending him unsolicited photos that this kid didn't even ask for. And I'm sorry, but you know this kid didn't ask for them. You know that none of the boys asked for them. None of them did. None of them did. Because all of them even came out and said that none of them were even interested in James like that. None of them even thought of him like that. They just thought that James Charles was talking to them and they wanted to keep this celebrity connection. So it was James sending these photos to them, these videos to them. Unprompted, unsolicited.
Realizing that I wasn't into that, he started kind of making threats towards me, saying he was going to diminish my career. He could easily ruin my career, just all types of nonsense, and it was bad. Okay, it was really, really, really bad. Started getting super, super intense. He started saying he was gonna ruin my career, go out and tell people I was gay and I was closeted, which isn't an issue. That's not an issue at all. But it was.
What is wrong with James Charles to even make these threats? Who does that? Who says these kind of things to someone? Just because someone doesn't accept your advances, you start telling them that you could ruin their career, you could ruin their life, you can say all these things about them that are lies just because you're upset. You're a grown man coming after kids. And miss me with, oh, he didn't know they were kids. He could have asked. And they all look like kids. He could have asked. It was his responsibility to make sure that they weren't.
Was still the fact that I was a 14-year-old boy, and it scared me. It freaked me out. Anyway, so that's when I made that video. There's a lot more that happened in the story, but this video is about 5 minutes long. So thank you guys. By the way, I just want to say I am not trying to diminish anyone's career. I'm not trying to ruin anyone. I'm just getting my story out once again because it was put under the rug, and it's not fair to anybody that has gone through this. Now, if you're watching this in the same situation that's happened to you, not necessarily with James Charles, but other people, just know I'm here for you. I'm there. Trust me, I've been through it, and there's so many other people behind you. It took a lot for me to make this video, and it's gonna take a lot for me to make a part two.
So, so considering this was Ethan's first video, you can tell that he's doing the same thing he wanted to do now, where he just wants to make sure that people are okay. That's why he said, if anyone's been through this, even if it wasn't with James and they're just going through it, period, he says, I'm here for you. That's what his sole intention was, not to expose people, to protect people. And not just people, but kids like himself. He was just trying to protect kids like himself from potentially ending up in the same scenario where they didn't know that this person that you think is safe is not safe.
But I have amazing people by my side, and I'm so thankful for that. So you can always reach out to me.
He genuinely seems like a kind hearted person. I'm really proud of him for coming forward. I think everyone should support him. I don't think anyone should doubt his story. He clearly was so emotional. You can't fake that. And why would he want to? So what? He could keep getting mistreated by random James Charles stands? James has gotten away with this for far too long, where he makes himself the victim and has everyone gloss over the fact that he has actual victims. So I'm posting this to spread the story, to spread the message, to encourage you guys to support Ethan because he clearly needs it. He clearly seems like he's going through a lot and he's been going through a lot, and I think he could use a lot of support. So As you can see, his TikTok is Rhett Ethan. So please go give him all the likes, all the comments. Any comment you were going to comment to me or any like you were going to give me, just go give him. And please just support him. He really needs it. And hopefully he can get justice. And hopefully this message is taken more seriously. And hopefully at some point someone will stop James Charles from doing this because he needs to be stopped.